And good morning. It's always a pleasure to have Karen Onen with me. She works at the East Central Regional Development Commission, and she is part of the East Central Regional Transportation Coordinating Council. I wrote it down.
You're getting so
I
good.
cheated because I can never remember it all. And anyone who listens to the show on a regular basis, Karen and I have been chatting about transportation and the issues within our region for almost a year now, or a little over that time period. And I know we have a guest this morning, so let's introduce Michelle today.
Yes, thanks for having us. Today we have with us Michelle Thomas, who's been with the East Central Regional Development Commission for 2 years. My goodness, time's flying. She's going to be coming on to work with me at the East Central Regional Transportation Coordinating Council, along with her other job. And I would just like to say hi. Good to see you, Michelle. And would you share with us some of your background, your interests, and how you got led into the ECRDC and what you've done there in the last 2 years?
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be working with Karen, and I love my job at East Central Regional Development Commission. It's been a whirlwind of a 2-year period. My passion has always been for the community of East Central Minnesota, and I've worked here for many, many years. Some may recognize my name from my work with Phase and Industries, Inc.
Can you explain a little bit what Phase and even Industries is?
Yep. So my job at Industries was to help folks with disabilities find work. Each location has an on-site production workshop where outside work is brought into the facility for folks to work on that can't get out. We also have many work crews that go out to the community and work at various sites. Employers hire them to come in and do various jobs. So please keep that in mind with this workforce shortage. They would appreciate it. Then I worked at Family Pathways for 6 years or so. The nice thing about those two organizations is they have the same territory and footprint as the East Central Regional Development Commission and the Transportation Coordinating Council. So
you know the needs and concerns of this community then,
yep,
really.
And a lot of the players and businesses, folks who are working to make a difference. So that was an easy transition for me.
And with the Phase part of it, because I remember Karen talking about Phase before, right?
We had Tim Schmutzer in, who is the executive director of Phase, and he's also the chair of our ECRTCC, and he's fantastic. And I just want to quickly mention that Heritage Thrift is run through Phase Industry. So when you go in there, if you have any questions looking to hire, you could always talk to them there.
Sure.
It's
Good
an
idea.
easy access point.
Sure, but Phase as well does transportation, I guess is what I wanted to allude to, right?
Well, Phase does transportation for their clients.
Employees. Yep.
That's what I'm
Yep.
alluding to. So that's why that's another piece that probably led you and is integral to your experience in what you're doing now.
Absolutely. It's funny how the world is so small.
Oh, it is.
As well as my work at Family Pathways, because one of the lines of service is aging services. And so there are a lot of transportation needs for older folks who don't drive anymore. Yeah, it's a really natural fit.
I just want to mention that Michelle was able to help out with the local Human Services Transportation Coordination Plan. And that is a report that has to be done every 5 years for MnDOT and the FTA. And the products that come out of the LCP, we'll call it that, the Local Coordination Plan, are priorities that will be considered to be worked on, for the next 5 years. So it was a real big deal to get this plan in place. It's not in place yet, but Michelle was able to help me with proofreading it, editing it, and I really appreciate it because I need another set of eyes. It took me a year to do that report. We have a separate grant for that report. Right now, let me just say it is available for the public to read. It's on the ECRDC.org website. You can click on that and be able to take a look at it. We would really appreciate your feedback. The public feedback on it. And on that page, you can also link to the eastcentraltransit.com page and get all my information. You can shoot me an email. You can give a call to the office. And then that'll be available for the public to read for the next 30 days. And then we're going to take the public comments, make adjustments to the report. Then it goes to MnDOT, and then they review it, and then it comes back to me, which I will revise again. And then it goes to the Minnesota Council on Transportation Access. They review it. Once they've given their blessing on it, then it becomes a document that will be in place, like I said, for the next 5 years. So it's 100-some pages, but a lot of the beginning of it is tables and maps and data. But once you get down about 3/4 of the way, there's a lot of narrative and information about what we've come up with for our priorities. And we're going to integrate those priorities into the ECRTCC, the East Central Regional Transportation Coordinating Council. So the two of those, because I was lucky enough to be able to do the LCP while working on the RTCC, I was able to integrate the two. And being that I've been with the RTCC now since 2018, I've kind of gotten a feel for what's necessary, what's needed. And the folks that helped with the LCP are regional people, a lot of the same folks from the ECRTCC Advisory Board. It's just been awesome. So there's a whole lot of really good stuff in there. And pretty close to the last page is the list of the 11 priorities. And I'm not going to get into them with you right now because it would just be too much. But like I said, you go to eastcentraltransit.com. It's on that website. It's also on our Facebook page, which has a link on our website. And you can go to ECRDC.org and you can find it there too.
And can I just add that it's a very robust report and already has multiple community stakeholders that have given feedback. It's not just Karen pulling stuff out of the air that she thinks is important for our region. It was done with a lot of input and feedback and very thoughtfully laid out. It's very interesting. So if you're at all interested or know someone in need of helpful transportation, it's just very good information to know what's going on in your community as well, and then to have an opportunity to give feedback where you think it's important, or if something was missed or something should be highlighted more, any of those kinds of reasons. It's a fabulous document, and it took a long time.
It did.
Yeah, a year is a long time. I was going to ask, just as a layperson here, so this document, Local Human Services Transit Coordination Plan, is it kind of the go-between between what's needed and MnDOT and what's needed for our area?
Yeah.
But why is it important, and does it have to do with, do you get the funding because of it? Because I understand grant stuff as well. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, it's good questions. It was done in 2017, and prior to that in 2012. We took the information from 2017. We used some of that to be able to come up with some ideas. And let me just say this. In 2017, that plan put in place the RTCCs. If another organization, whatever it might be, comes up with something that just happens to be one of our priorities, it has a special tweak to it because it is already in our plan.
So
And you can write that into your grant, whatever you're looking for, when you're looking for funding, and say it's in the LCP, and it would just give it a boost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
that's,
it is
you know,
required as part of a grant.
it's a hoop to go through, so to speak. And I mean that in a good way, not a bad way.
Yep.
It's just
They
one of
wanna
those
know.
criteria. It has to go through this process, and then how quickly would it be implemented?
And we're already using it
Okay.
to build our design moving
Okay.
forward into this next fiscal year, which started on July 1st.
Oh.
We just had a meeting recently about it and how we're going to implement it into the RTCC, trying to find out what people's interests are in our advisory board and steering committee, who wants to be involved with what. There's a whole lot of stuff in there, and I really encourage people to go on the site and take a look at it.
And that's one of the reasons we have these chats, is to make sure the community at large knows what's going on. Number one, what's available. Number two, and how to get a hold of people if they have a concern or if they want to learn more. So that's all good stuff. And another great opportunity, Karen, to get to actually meet Michelle. I bet she'll get rooked into the county fair.
Yeah, that's just coming up next week.
And you guys are going to be out there, so I wanted you to share what people can look forward to. They should stop and see you.
Absolutely. We're in the Boy Scout building. And we have the whole building. Okay. It's going to be the transportation building. We've got Timber Trails. I believe TriCap will be there. Arrowhead will be there. And the NLX will be there.
Awesome.
And we're hoping for some other transportation organizations to also be involved. I'd love to get a trishaw if we can find one, which is like a bicycle that has on the front of it a little seat with a little umbrella kind of thing over the top to take people around for rides. Now, granted, if we borrow it, we're not going to be able to use it, but we can show what these things are. And I know that there's at least one senior facility in our community or our region that has one.
It's a great idea.
It would be fun to see. There's so much to do with transportation. So we're really excited for folks to stop by, and we want to talk to everybody about volunteer driving and, if you want to sign up for Lyft.
If you're interested in any of the services that any of the local transportation providers offer, how to get hooked up, to catch rides. If you want more information about the NLX train going from Minneapolis to Duluth and back, that's the place to be to ask questions and meet with the people in the know.
Absolutely.
and get your answers.
It's a great opportunity, so we want to throw that out. So that's a week from today. The fair, of course, will be underway by Wednesday, but you guys will have folks manning the building, and I hope people can stop by.
We're hoping to maybe have a
building.
Bus or two so you can climb around and maybe meet some drivers and feel a little bit more comfortable about riding the bus by just checking it out.
Absolutely. So again, Karen, I know we've mentioned the website a couple times, but I really use that for the hub. Again, another metaphor that has to do with transportation. But truly, it's easy for people to remember, so give the website again.
EastCentralTransit.com. And then I also wanted to quick mention that LCP report is also available at the ECRDC office in Mora, which is right across the street from Kennebec Times or the
publications.
Yeah, the publications. And you can just stop in there, sitting on the desk.
There's a link to it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
so you go to ECRDC.org and you can find it there and on the eCentralTransit.com website.
And I will do one more metaphor. I will say, welcome aboard, Michelle Thomas.
I love it. Thank you.
To everything that you're doing there with Karen and the whole transportation. I'm sure we'll be chatting again in the near future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right.
Thank you.
You bet. It's been a pleasure. And this get-together has been partially funded by our friends at MnDOT.